I rolled down the car window and stuck my hand out to try to understand how deep I was, but as soon as I did, dirt began seeping inside. I got scared. There was no other choice. I closed the window as best as I could, and fortunately, for a while, everything seemed fine. But suddenly the sunroof cracked. I quickly stood up and held it with my left hand. I grabbed some duct tape and tried to seal the crack, but it didn't help. There was no other option. I inserted the steering wheel lock into the sunroof opening to keep it from breaking even more. With slight relief, I took a bottle of mineral water and drank it to the last drop. Only afterward did I realize it was the last water left in the car. For a few seconds, I was angry with myself, but soon I pulled myself together and started checking the rest of my things. My eyes fell on the sunroof. Drops had formed on it. The color was slightly yellowish, but in my situation, I had no choice. I leaned over and began licking them off. Then I took nail clippers and made a small hole in the sunroof, widening it a little with my fingers. I took a credit card, bent it into a small funnel, placed it into the empty water bottle, and propped it up against the steering wheel lock. I felt a bit of relief. The problem of drinking water was temporarily solved. Then I took a tent pole and pushed a thin metal tube outward. I removed the bottle, widened the hole, and tried to push the tube upward, but it hit some kind of rock and wouldn't go any farther. A little water seeped through. I quickly plugged the hole with newspaper, made a hole in the bottle cap, tied a rope to it, and inserted it into the thin tube. I started pushing the tube upward again, but I could only connect two sections and pushed with all my strength. The tube moved slowly. The resistance was strong. I kept pushing, but managed to move it only a few centimeters. Then I took the jack. It helped, but even it had its limits. I had to push manually again. I threw a blanket over my back and, with tremendous effort, continued forcing the tube upward. Finally, I managed to push it a little higher. I looked inside. It was still dark. Then I took a wire hanger, straightened it, and pushed it upward. And then a click. It felt like a miracle. I took a deep breath in relief and prayed silently. Then I saw a thin ray of sunlight break through into the tube. I jumped with joy. I took a straw and inserted it into the tube to draw in fresh air from outside. Then I started shouting for help as loudly as I could, but there was no response. So I cut the rope with nail scissors, took some newspaper and matches, and lit them inside the tube so that the smoke would rise up and someone might notice it. The film is called Detour.